My sister betrayed me for her best friend, who falsely accused me of getting her pregnant. But when her ex-boyfriend revealed the truth with evidence, I contacted her religious parents, and the revenge destroyed my family forever. I'm 27 years old. I work in corporate finance and have been doing that for like 5 years now. And I need to tell this story because basically my younger sister destroyed my life a few months ago by believing her best friend instead of believing me, her own brother. And the worst part is that she knew perfectly well that I hadn't done anything, but she still decided to take that manipulator's side. I don't know, maybe I'm telling this to process it myself, or maybe because I need someone to tell me if I'm really the villain in this story, like my sister insists on saying. I guess I should start at the beginning. I mean, how my relationship with Megan was before all this blew up. Megan is 20 years old. She's in college, second year, I think, studying something related to communications or marketing. Honestly, I never paid much attention to the details. We were always close when we were younger, the protective older brother and the little sister who follows you everywhere. When she started college like 2 years ago, we drifted apart a bit because I was super focused on my career and she was doing her thing on campus. But we talked often. We'd see each other at family dinners. Everything normal. My parents are pretty traditional, conservative, I'd say, but good parents at the end of the day. They always supported both of us, paid for our universities without hesitation, that kind of thing. The problem started when Megan moved into an off-campus apartment with her best friend Lauren. Lauren was this girl. She met her freshman year of college. They became inseparable almost immediately. And honestly, at first I thought it was fine. Like, I was glad my sister had a good friend. I met Lauren like 3 or 4 times total, at family gatherings or when I'd stop by to pick up Megan for something. She was nice, I guess, talkative, the type of person who tells you their entire life story in 5 minutes. She had a boyfriend, a guy named Josh, who she'd been with for like 6 years since high school, and she always talked about him, about their future plans, all very intense for being only 20 years old, but well, to each their own. The thing is that in September of last year, like mid-month, I'm at my apartment on a Thursday night after work, eating pizza and watching Netflix, when I start getting notifications like crazy on Instagram. I open the app and see that Lauren had tagged me in a post. And when I say I couldn't believe what I was reading, I mean, I literally froze with my phone in my hand. Lauren had posted this long post accusing me of getting her pregnant. She said she was 6 weeks pregnant, that I had taken advantage of her when she was vulnerable, that I had promised her no one would find out, and all this string of absolute lies. She tagged me, tagged Megan, tagged a bunch of people. The comments were already exploding. People I don't even know, saying horrible things about me. My first instinct was to call Megan. Because, this was total insanity and I needed my sister to know it was a lie. I called like 5 times, but she wouldn't answer. I sent her messages, like, Megan, please answer me. This is a complete lie. I've never even been alone with Lauren. Nothing. Total silence. I tried commenting on Lauren's post, but she had already blocked me. I tried direct messaging her, and that was blocked too. It was like she had planned all this perfectly, Like she knew exactly what to do so I couldn't defend myself. Around 11 at night, Megan finally called me back. And what happened on that call basically changed everything between us forever. She answered, yelling at me, Andrew, how could you do this to her? How could you be so disgusting? How dare you call me after what you did? I tried to explain, but she wouldn't let me talk. She just kept yelling. I told her, Megan, listen to me. I never touched Lauren. This is a complete lie. You have to believe me. And she said something that still hurts. When I think about it, she said, Lauren is my best friend. I know her better than anyone, and I know she wouldn't lie about something like this. I asked her, Are you seriously telling me you believe her more than your own brother? When have I ever lied to you? And you know what she said? She said that men always lie about these things, that she had seen how I looked at Lauren at family gatherings, all this garbage she was making up right there. Then the conversation took an even shadier turn. Megan told me I had to help Lauren financially with the pregnancy, that it was my responsibility, that if I didn't, she would tell our parents herself. Basically, she was extorting me. I told her there was no way I was giving her money for a lie, that she could tell our parents whatever she wanted because I hadn't done absolutely anything. She hung up, screaming that I was a monster and irresponsible. And there I was, like 2 in the morning already, unable to sleep, with my reputation being destroyed on social media in real time, and my own sister believing a liar instead of me. The next few days were hell. Lauren's post had gone viral in her social circle. People were sending me hate messages. Some coworkers who had me on social media started treating me weird. I had to talk to HR preventively to explain the situation before it reached them another way. My parents still didn't know anything because Megan apparently hadn't told them, probably waiting for me to give in and give Lauren money. I was completely lost, didn't know what to do, had no way to prove my innocence other than the fact that simply nothing had happened. And then, like a week after all this disaster, I received an Instagram message from a guy I didn't know. His name was Josh, and his message said, "I need to talk to you about Lauren. Please answer me." I hesitated for a moment because I thought it might be someone else wanting to attack me, but something told me to respond. It turned out Josh was Lauren's boyfriend, well, ex-boyfriend technically because they had broken up like a month before, and what he told me basically confirmed that Lauren was even worse than I thought. Josh explained that Lauren had been cheating on him for months with another guy from college, that he had found out and confronted her, and that when they broke up, she told him she was pregnant and tried to convince him to get back together and get married. Josh demanded a paternity test because he was suspicious, and Lauren admitted the baby wasn't his, but that she needed Josh to help her anyway because the real father didn't want anything to do with it. Josh sent me screenshots of conversations between him and Lauren, where she literally admitted she had chosen me to accuse because I had a good job and money, and because she thought that being Megan's brother, I wouldn't want to cause drama and would simply pay to shut her up. I mean, she had basically planned to trap me from the beginning. Josh also told me that Lauren had said if she didn't get money from me or her parents, she was going to have to drop out of college. When I saw those screenshots, I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off me, but at the same time, I was furious, like angrier than I had been in my life. This girl had tried to completely destroy me for money, had manipulated my sister, had ruined my reputation, all for her benefit. Josh told me he didn't want anything to do with Lauren anymore, but thought I deserved to know the truth. I thanked him like 1,000 times and asked if he'd be willing to be a witness if things escalated legally. He said yes without hesitation. Now, you're probably going to think what I did next was a bit extreme, but honestly, I don't regret it. I learned from Josh that Lauren's parents were super religious and conservative, the type who would cut university funding if they found out their daughter was pregnant outside of marriage. So, I looked up Lauren's mom's contact on Facebook, spent like an hour writing a super respectful but direct message explaining the whole situation, attached the screenshots Josh had given me, and told her that her daughter had falsely accused me of something very serious, and that I thought as parents, they deserved to know the truth. Hit send and basically waited for the bomb to explode. I didn't have to wait long. The next day, Lauren started sending me desperate messages, first insulting me, then begging me to tell her parents it was a lie, offering to delete the Instagram post, anything. I didn't answer a single one. Her parents had apparently called her and given her an ultimatum, either leave college and come home immediately, or they would cut all financial support. Lauren was in total panic, because without her parents, she couldn't pay for the apartment, college, nothing. And here comes the part that still makes my blood boil. Megan called me that night, like 11 at night again, screaming like crazy. She told me I had ruined Lauren's life. How dare I involve her parents, that because of me, Lauren was going to have to drop out of college. I said, "Megan, seriously? Did you see the screenshots Josh sent me? Did you see that Lauren literally admitted she was lying to me to get money?" There was silence, and then she said, "That doesn't matter. You still had no right to ruin her life like that." I was speechless. Like what? What do you mean it doesn't matter? I asked her if she was ever going to apologize to me for believing Lauren instead of me, for threatening me, for allowing me to be publicly defamed. And you know what she said? She said, I was her brother and I was supposed to be a better person than all this. That I should have helped Lauren anyway because she was in a difficult situation. That's when I decided to tell my parents everything. I had endured enough, and if Megan wasn't going to see reason, I needed someone to back me up. I went to my parents' house the following weekend, told them absolutely everything from the beginning, showed them the screenshots, explained how Megan had treated me. My mom was crying by the time I finished. My dad was quiet, but you could see he was processing everything. Finally, my dad said they were going to talk to Megan and that this was going to be resolved. I just told them I appreciated their support and that honestly, I didn't know if I could forgive Megan after all this. My parents called Megan that same night on speakerphone so I could listen. They told her they knew the whole truth, that they were deeply disappointed in her, and gave her an ultimatum similar to Lauren's parents. Either she apologized to Andrew, cut contact with Lauren completely, and admitted she had been wrong, or they would cut financial support for her college. It was harsh, I know. But my parents are old school. They believe in family loyalty above everything, and for them, what Megan had done was unforgivable. The call was an absolute disaster. Megan started defending Lauren again, saying Lauren was the victim in all this, that her parents were horrible for forcing her to leave school, that we should understand she was pregnant and scared. My mom asked her, "What about your brother? Wasn't he scared when he was falsely accused? Didn't you think about how this would affect him?" Megan said, "I was a man and could handle it, that Lauren needed more support." Then she started with how my parents had always favored me, that I was the perfect son and she had never been enough. All this victim narrative that frankly made me nauseous to hear. She yelled at them that if they forced her to choose between her family and her friend, she chose Lauren because Lauren needed her more. My dad, who almost never loses his cool, told her very seriously, "Then you've made your decision, don't expect any more money from us," and hung up. I thought that would be the end, that Megan would come to her senses after a few days, but no. 2 weeks passed and nothing. My parents had cut off her access to the account where they deposited money for college and the apartment. Lauren had apparently had to go live with the real father of the baby, who by the way turned out to be a 5-year-old guy who worked at a bar near campus, a real gem of a person, obviously. Megan was left alone in the apartment she couldn't afford. About a month after all this, Megan showed up at my parents' house on a Saturday morning. I was there because I was going to have lunch with them. When she arrived, she was crying. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept in days. She begged my parents to forgive her, that she needed help, that she couldn't pay for the apartment or college alone. My mom, who has the softer heart, was about to give in, but my dad stopped her. He told Megan, "The only thing you have to do is apologize to your brother and admit you were wrong." Megan looked at me, and I swear for a second I thought she was going to do it, but then she looked away and said she hadn't done anything wrong, that she had just supported her friend. My dad told her to leave then, and not come back until she was ready to do the right thing. She left crying and screaming that we were abandoning her. What happened next was that Megan got student loans. Apparently, some of Lauren's friends helped her fill out the application, and she moved into a cheaper apartment with 2 random roommates. Basically, she had to figure everything out on her own, like my parents had told her. I moved on with my life, tried to rebuild my reputation. Lauren eventually deleted the Instagram post after several people who knew the truth pressured her, but the damage was already done. I lost some friendships. People at work still look at me weird sometimes, and I have this constant feeling that some people will always think I'm guilty of something I never did. About 3 months after all this, I received an email from Megan. It was like 2 pages of text, basically saying she was sorry for how things turned out, that she understood I was angry, but that she still believed Lauren had deserved more compassion than she received. I mean, it wasn't even a real apology. It was more like, "I'm sorry, but I still think you're the bad guy here." She said she hoped someday we could fix our relationship, but for now she needed space. I didn't answer her. What was I supposed to say? Thanks for the non-apology? My parents tried to talk to her a couple more times, but she's still in her position. She talks to my mom occasionally, basic life updates, but never mentions anything about me or about apologizing. My mom tells me Megan is working part-time at a Starbucks to help with expenses, that her grades dropped a bit, but she's still in college. Lauren had the baby like 2 months ago. A girl. She's living with the baby's dad, but apparently the relationship is already super bad. Megan is still friends with her, helps her with the baby sometimes. It's like everything that happened didn't mean anything to her. Last week was my dad's birthday, a small family dinner, just my parents and me. My mom mentioned she had messaged Megan inviting her, but that she had said she couldn't go. My dad said, couldn't or wouldn't, and my mom went quiet. We finished dinner without talking more about it, but you could feel Megan's absence at the table, this weird hole that I never thought would exist in my family. Sometimes, I wonder if I did the right thing. Contacting Lauren's parents. Part of me feels like, yes, that she deserved consequences for trying to ruin my life. But another part wonders if I went too far, if I should have handled things differently. Then I remember how Megan treated me, how she threatened me, how she chose a liar over her own brother, and that doubt disappears. What still kills me is that Megan and I were close, like really close, and she threw all that away for someone she'd known for less than 2 years. How do you do that? How do you decide that a friend is worth more than your own blood? I don't. I know if Megan and I are ever going to fix this. Honestly, at this point, I'm not sure if I want to. The trust is completely destroyed, and I don't think any apology can repair that. My parents are devastated, especially my mom, who always dreamed of having this perfect united family, and now her daughter basically doesn't exist in our lives. It's weird. A year ago, everything was normal, boring even, and now my family is shattered by the lies of someone who wasn't even really part of it. I guess the lesson here, if there is one, is that people are going to disappoint you in ways you never imagined, that loyalty isn't always reciprocal, that you can do everything right and still end up being the villain in someone else's story, and that sometimes the people you care about most are the ones who can hurt you the most. I don't have a nice ending for this story. There's no reconciliation or movie moment where everyone hugs and everything gets fixed. There's just this, my sister and me on opposite sides of a line she drew, my parents trying to keep their composure, and me trying to move on with my life while carrying the weight of knowing my own sister betrayed me when I needed her most. And that's enough, I guess.